Left wingers like Overmars and Perez, Martinelli, whoever else plays that position needs to be that level of player. Same with Odegaard as a 10. No, Bergkamp was a 10. Them players are hard to find, man. Another reality that's... Oh, sorry, I already saw that. I said Phil Foden was not going to perform after last year. I knew it. Listen, Phil Foden is, I believe, in terms of talent, keyword talent, a generational talent, one of the best players that I think England has produced. Not the best, but one of them. But it doesn't correlate. You're not a main player. You're a main player by default for City. You're not one of the first names on the team sheet for England. You're definitely not a player that I feel at this moment in time English should build around you. If we finally see the Phil Foden they speak about and he looks like on YouTube and on his day, then fair enough. But you want to move Saka left back for him. Cole Palmer's done more for England than him. Jack Grealish has done more for him. Saka's done more for him. Sterling has done more. And they still talk about Phil Foden like he's a kid, in my opinion. And he's absolutely not. Like, time catches up. He's probably about 24, 25. 24, 25 this year. Time to show up, man. Time to show up, I guess. Again, keep your convos coming. Time is flying, people. Apparently, let's get into the tabs. Tab police, look away now. Declan Rice and Lewis Skelly, big you up, man. Reece James, you want to join us? Link up with Tomiyasu. Apparently, Bukayo Saka is on course to return in time to face Real Madrid in the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final next month. Arsenal hope that the winger could even make the bench in their next game against Fulham. Do we think he'll be on the bench against Fulham? Surely it's best just writing off Saka's season, but I don't know if he's past his fit and the player wants to play. Who am I, essentially, people? Let's see exactly what's going on with Saka. Apparently, he's been stepping up his workload ahead of potentially returning against Fulham. Some say Real Madrid's the realistic one. He's in the final stage of his rehab. He'll be involved in longer and more intense 1v1 fitness sessions over the next few weeks, while he'll also begin working with the ball and training with his teammates. Arteta did say he's getting closer. He's stepping up and making a very good progress, I would say. So let's see when we start to throw him in the team, how he reacts and how fit he can get quickly. We'll be desperate to have him, man. You see Martinelli come back ahead of schedule, Mikel Arteta's own words. So hopefully there's progress. Hopefully there's progress with Saka's contract. Allegedly, Arsenal are set to open new contract talks with Saka. Arsenal are set to open formal talks with Bukayo Saka over a new contract as the forward enters the final 2 years of his current deal. We all know, unfortunately, since sustaining a serious injury against Crystal Palace, he's been unavailable since December. We all know how important he is, people. His contract, like Saliba's, is due to expire in the 2026-27 season, with early moves towards opening concrete talks already initiated. The process is expected to accelerate in the not too distant future. Fingers and everything crossed, people. He signed his current contract and he's believed to be earning 10 mil per year. Defo can get more, surely. He's got even better. It feels like every week Saka's this contract talks with Saka. So yeah, man. Clubs across Europe will be intrigued to see how discussions develop. Naturally, Saka is widely recognized as one of the top attacking talents in European football. Before signing his existing deal, Saka was subject of interest from Manchester City, and the contract before that, I remember everyone getting scared he's going to go Liverpool. And there'll be no shortage of suitors again if clubs talks do not go smoothly. Arsenal will be hopeful that an agreement can be reached given their emergence as title challengers under Arteta, while their continued participation in the Champions League may also be a factor in persuading Saka to re-sign. For now, he needs to focus on that hamstring issue. In terms of some other players, he's not the only one with 2 years left on his deal or less. Partey and Jorginho are both out of contract at the end of the season and will leave the Emirates this summer as things stand. Trossard, who has held talks over a new deal, is out of contract in the summer of 2026. Crucially, Saka, Williams, Saliba, and Gabriel Magalhaes, who are all key players for Arteta, will see their deals expire in 2027. So we've got things that need to be done. Apparently, Gabriel Magalhaes has also held talks over an extension. The Brazilian international is believed to have interest from clubs in Saudi. Remember when it looked like his head might have been turned by that? Arsenal are set to find a deal for Newcastle United captain Guimaraes. Too hard to do in the summer. We know it's unlikely to get Guimaraes, let alone both Guimaraes and Zubimendi. Apparently, Sesko is still on our radar, and Berta is keen on Inter Milan striker Lautaro Martinez. So at this point, it's the same names being floated time and time again. Will we get the same Saka mentally? Injury changes their game. I mean, one thing I'd say with Saka, he always responds to adversity, but honestly, we won't know. I don't think we'll know until next season. I don't know how fit he is, how much minutes he's got in the legs. Is Saka and Arsenal rushing himself back? Does Saka think in his head, I'm 99.9% ready to play. I definitely want to play against Real Madrid and help Arsenal salvage what they can. And I just want to be back playing and helping my teammates. But that extra 0.01%, does he think he's got an injury and is he telling them I'm fit anyways? Who knows, man? And that's what I'm wary of, placing too much faith in Saka. I don't know how fit you've got in the legs. You ain't played since December. It's now March. You're gonna be rusty. Surely if you're on the bench against Fulham, you get minutes in the legs. And if he gets 20, 30, 40 minutes, does he start against Madrid? I don't know. And if he does not start against Real Madrid, what is Arteta gonna do? Is he going to go Trossard, Martinelli, and Marino? Is he going to put Martinelli down the left and go with Wanyeri? I don't know. I hope he is, man. Hope he a moment. Can't get Bruno G this summer because we're taking Isak and Newcastle won't let us take both. I hope so, man. I think Saka will show up. I have that feeling. Wanyeri is the real deal. When we buy this new winger, can our players learn to swap wings in games sometimes, please? I want to see that. I don't think Arteta wants that, though. So I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. I think Arteta doesn't want that, because he's doing what he's doing. Arteta will try hard until the last moment to convince Jorginho to change his mind and stay at Arsenal. So that tells me Partey is going to go. Jorginho's going to be part of the squad like an El Nene role. Flamingo are currently pushing hard for the Italian, while he also has interest and offers from the UAE, Italy, and Japan. Go get paid, Jorginho, man. You've given a lot to the game. Go get paid, man. Or go back to Brazil or Italy if that's genuinely what you want. When this loads, if it will load, William Saliba has won all of his 14 duels in his last 3 Premier League matches, people. He won 6 out of 6 against Forest, 5 out of 5 against United, and 3 out of 3 against Chelsea. Is he getting back up to his best? Romano did speak yesterday about Saliba's future. He said, I don't expect big movements for William Saliba this summer. Internally at Real Madrid, they're monitoring the player. He's considered the Bellingham of defenders, but that is normal, appreciating a player like Saliba. At the same time, there is Arsenal. He has still 2.5 years left on his contract. There's no urgency. It's not a dangerous situation for Arsenal. Berta will work on a new contract for Saliba to explain the project, the long-term view, the ambition, and discuss numbers in terms of contract with the player. They want him to be a crucial part of their project. I mean, that's good. We've got a lot to do. Shout out Riley on Twitch. We've got a lot to do, man. Like, we've got a lot to do. What you don't want to see is kind of what In the Circle said. You definitely don't want to have a Liverpool situation, which our Liverpool situation would be Magalhaes, Saliba, our 2 key centre backs, and Saka's deals all running out. So it'd be nice to see, Saka's deal is getting done, Saliba's deal is getting done, striker, centre, mid, left winger are brought in. Anything else beyond that is all gravy, man. We got 3 key players to sort out contracts, man. We'll have to see how that develops, though. And you'd imagine, I reckon by this time next year, even though he's probably on the contract for a long period of time, I reckon Timber, once they deal with the contracts running out now, the contracts running out next season, and the people who need to go and come in, surely Timber gets improved terms. Not that I know what he's on. Again, Real Madrid absolutely love Saliba, and they'll keep monitoring him, but Arsenal want him to commit his future, and will be on course to try to do that. Speaking of one centre-back, now another at Arsenal. Apparently, Kiwior is reassessing his future at Arsenal this summer with the defender in search of game time. Last summer, the poll attracted Premier League and European inquiries. Arsenal are now willing to part ways for a reasonable fee. I think that's on brand. I think he needs to go to play some first-team football. And honestly, I don't really think he's at the level. Crazy how Fofana got away with all of that. Chris Kavanagh sent off Rice for less, literally. On Isak, the big, massive proposals will come to the table for Alexander Isak. Arsenal will be there. Liverpool are also up there. For Arsenal, he's the absolute top target. Sesko is the other name on the list. For Liverpool, he's one of the names they're considering. So based on how that sentence is structured, you would believe that Arsenal are more keen on Isak than Liverpool. And that might be true. But at the same time, it don't really make sense, because you'd imagine Liverpool Isak's a top target for Liverpool, and you'd also imagine that you could flip that. Basically, you could flip that whole sentence, flip Liverpool and Arsenal around. It's just a creative way of saying things, man. And with Isak, are you going to put down the money? If not, then it's done, innit? And even that, you still might not have a chance. But for you lot, I don't mind speaking about it. If Isak leaves Newcastle this summer, he favours a move allegedly to Arsenal over Liverpool. He'll likely push for an exit if Newcastle miss out on Champions League football, which they're not, because they're going to get in the top 5 spaces. For me, Arsenal are prepared to pay 100+ million, while Newcastle want 130. There you have it, really. Would like us, even if they get champs, to still go on him. Barcelona are closely monitoring Isak's situation and are thought to be ready in an offer of 110 million euros. So that's about 95, which is a 15 mil profit from Sociedad, if I am right. But if Sociedad did their job when they sold him to Newcastle, it's probably a decent little percentage. And you look at Liverpool, you look at Arsenal, you look at Barca, they've all spent money. They've all built big players for big money, some more than others. But do you really think Liverpool fans will call FSG broke and say they're stingy. We know we're stingy at this club. Barcelona, unless they cook the books, I'd have a lot of faith with if I was a Newcastle fan, even if I was scared of tabloid talk, that Isak stays put, and probably, in my opinion, he's more likely to sign a new deal. Arsenal sporting director Berta shares the club's admiration for Atletico Madrid's 21-year-old midfielder Pablo Barrios, who I'm sure has played fullback. Now, I'm sure Arteta being Spanish probably likes him, but does he actually like him, or is this tabloid talk because Berta was at Atletico? And it's a great way of throwing another name into the mix that isn't Zubimendi or Guimaraes or whoever. Leipzig won 80 million euros for Xavi Simons in the summer. When he signed in January, there was an agreement to let him leave to a top club if his valuation was met. Fair enough in that regards. I mean, there's talk around attitude issues and all of that kind of stuff. Wolves are considering a move for Jota. We was linked with Jota. AC Milan want to make Kyle Walker's move permanent. United have raised the asking price for Rashford. He's back in the England squad. See, look at this. Liverpool will have a 250 million war chest to revamp their squad this summer. It's another... Listen, I think I speak for every football fan and on behalf of every Arsenal fan. Maybe not necessarily the price, but this whole war chest stuff is jarring. And Julian Alvarez last couple of days has been linked with Liverpool. Once again, Saka's eyeing a comeback for the game against Real Madrid. Allegedly, Romano is saying Liverpool have made contact with Isak's people in a bid to engineer a summer move. And to be honest, you never know, but Isak, if I'm your agent, I would have a conversation with you. Do you want to stay at Newcastle? How do you feel about Newcastle? He's probably going to say, I like playing here. I'm comfortable here. The manager's good. The owners are showing me ambition. The fans, love me. I'm comfy here. Maybe the weather's not great, but the people are. I'm comfy here. Won a title. We're about to be in the Champions League. Got a decent contract. I might say, what? Do you want to sign for Liverpool or Arsenal? I wouldn't mind if you can make it happen. Do you more want to leave or do you more want to stay? If he says I more want to stay, then if I'm his agent, I'm rallying this up. I'm going to contact Liverpool or Arsenal, just so I can sit there in the Newcastle board and say, listen, the striker market's dead. You need to pay my guy more. It's going to cost you a lot to replace this guy because you would have showed your hand and of ability. You got to give us the top dollar. So I guess what I'm saying is I would be playing this Liverpool interest if I was Isak's agent. I'd be playing the Liverpool, Arsenal, Barcelona, PSG interest all off each other. Generally, and that's nothing unique to me saying that. That is just the reality of football, essentially. So yeah, man, Liverpool still linked with Isak. Barcelona scouts were in attendance to watch Isak last week against West Ham. Laporta is a huge fan of the striker and wants a marquee signing. I mean, he has played in Spain before. And do you want to link up with Odegaard and that? Arsenal and Chelsea allegedly have moved ahead of Liverpool in the race to sign Marcus Thuram. The French international has a 71 million release clause. It's a no from me, really. Man City will have to pay at least 70 million if they want to sign Camavinga. Can we find that and be in those shouts? Arsenal are prepared to sell a notable player in a bid to raise funds for summer arrivals. What does notable player mean? You could cry and say, oh, you know what? We need to get deals done for Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Saka. It might be one of them. Zinchenko is one of the key players at Arsenal, quote unquote, over this 3-year period. Trossard the same. That could be thrown under that. If Jesus was fit, his name would be thrown in. And that's why I'm a bit pessimistic, because clearly we're strong financially. Any sell to buy rhetoric is coming from in us internally of how we want to do things, just like last summer, where us fans, we had our fan cap on that, 2 points off City. If you do this, you do that, we could do what needs to be done. We dropped the ball. I feel there is a curb in terms of ambition with Arsenal and ambition within the fan base generally, or at least how we're going about it in it. So we'll have to watch that space, man. I mean, I'm loving the Saka news. No clue why that's still there. What else we got? Arsenal have not yet initiated contract talks with Partey, whose contract expires in June. We already knew that. We've gone over that. Osimhen is likely to end up in the Premier League next season. That's according to his teammate for Nigeria. Where though? Chelsea? United? Someone else? Manchester United are closely monitoring Hugo Ekitike and Benjamin Sesko, as well as Victor Osimhen and Victor Gyökeres. Funny, because all those players have been linked with us people. But then you hear Man United are struggling financially, which is crazy to say. They're obviously stripping things back, or Ineos Group is. They're not going to get Champions League unless they win the Europa, which could have some financial constraints, and you could still get deals done. They will sign players, and they might be able to get, I don't know, they might be able to flog Rashford and Anthony. It's a bit techie, but they're putting themselves in the shop window. But yeah, we're all getting linked with the same guys. Man United begin talks with 2 Arsenal striker targets to beat summer window race. Man United are ready to rival Arsenal for 2 of their biggest summer transfer targets. Amorim is expected to ask at the end of the season for more firepower. Joshua Zirkzee is a quality player. Goal scoring is a weak area of his, and so is Højlund's, man. Apparently, United have a 4-man shortlist and include 2 potential Arsenal targets. A deal for Sesko, and we always hear Sesko apparently is on joining us, in which you could argue you've got a clear run at things at United, man. But we'll have to see. A deal for Sesko has twice been explored by Arsenal in the recent January transfer window and last summer. And the RB Leipzig striker is now a target for United at the end of the season. We have seen previous reports that he's convinced on Arsenal. Gyökeres is another player who's attracting plenty of interest from the Premier League, including Arsenal and United, who have included the former Coventry star on their summer shortlist. Both strikers are expected to command fees in excess of 60 mil, which is quite cheap where you look at what would be required for Isak, surely. Further reports claim both Sesko and Gyökeres have decided to explore moves in the summer. Hugo Ekitike and Osman complete United's list. So we'll have to see exactly what's going to happen, but we're all going to get linked. Speaking of Man United, apparently they've joined Arsenal in the race to sign Nico Williams. Bayern Munich have been linked with him in the last 24 hours as well. Everybody's interested in all these players. Bayern Munich, as I said, right on cue, people. Bayern Munich allegedly want to sign Nico Williams. I mean, Gnabry's gone. Gnabry's gone. Sane's linked with us. Contract is running out. Kingsley Coleman could cut. Yeah, they've got Elise, but it doesn't surprise me. They're linked with Gittins, Nico Williams, and obviously Ryan Cherky. They've got more life in them in the sense of they're younger. New blood is what I should say. According to Christian Floor, Bayern Munich are keen to sign Nico Williams from Atletico Bilbao. Sane's been linked with Arsenal. Apparently, Farke also noted that Arsenal are still in talks with Williams, but as ever, Bayern Munich's presence here could complicate things. Boy, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. Bring him. If this is what Arteta wants, fair enough. I'm on signing Joel Hato. Apparently, Arsenal are considering a move for Ajax's 19-year-old defender, Hato, despite the emergence of Lewis Skelly. Long-term centre-half, playing left-back almost week in, week out now for Ajax. Has captained Ajax, has 100 appearances to his name. There's a base there. And that's your long-term Partey. Long-term Gabriel Magalhaes replacement, man, in my opinion. So yeah, apparently he sees Timber as a role model as well. And there's quite, Zinni's gone, Zinni's gone, Tini's gone, Kiwior's potentially gone, Tomiyasu might be gone next season unless things change. You've got Lewis Skelly. We hope we can get a tune out of Calafiori defensively. Throw him in there. We're laughing. We are laughing, people. We're laughing. So yeah, Liverpool are always linked with Hato as well. So we'll have to see. Coaches told me that I always needed to look up to Van Dijk, but when I played in the under-18s, I always looked up to Timber. When I came into the first team, he was my mentor. I love his playing style and his calmness on the ball. He can be your mentor in North London. Trust me. Chat to him, people. And he has been playing left-back, people. Although the left footer predominantly emerged as a centre-back, the position he will have often been watched by Arsenal when they first showed interest. Fast forward to now. And do you know what? He'd be good for United and Liverpool, to be fair with you. And a couple of clubs. Hato is now regularly appearing for the famous Dutch side as a left back. Speaking of defenders, did you not see what Calvin Bassey did to Romero? It's crazy, isn't it? He's even played as a wing back on occasion this season, which has really impressed Arsenal. It would therefore seem as if the youngster could offer a similar positional profile to Calafiori. I think signing Calafiori could have actually put this to bed, but you never know. I would have said that last summer, and I did believe that last summer. I guess a year can change. And that is something that can't be ruled out. Arsenal are still huge fans of the defender heading into the summer. Incidentally, Hato's former teammate Timber hailed the defender as a special talent recently after reaching 100 appearances for his former club. Timber, make the call. The Sun said earlier this week, people, that Arsenal are keeping tabs on Espanyol fullback Omar El Hilahi, 21 years of age, who's believed to have a release clause of 12.5 million. Arsenal are also keen on goalkeeper 23-year-old Garcia of Espanyol for the summer, who could cost upwards of 25 million quid. What's this? I don't know why I was looking at fixtures, people. What else have we got? What's all this about? Top 5 under 21 wingers, Mintai, Cherky, Yalmao, Git and Silvino. Must be nice. We'd love to have someone of our own there. Arsenal are still linked with Retigi of Atalanta, people. Apparently he's well placed on Arsenal's list of striker targets. Atalanta won at least 37 million to sell him. They're probably going to lose Ademola Lookman as well. Currently he's the top goal scorer in Serie A. He has 25 goals. I mean, naturally that's going to put you on any radar of any club looking for a forward. Where Sesko is concerned, is there anything new here? United allegedly have started talks. They're scouring the market. Arsenal are confident Sesko will sign for them ahead of the 2025-26 season. Are you going to take us into this? Well, this was in February. But that's according to Ben Jacobs. I don't know, Ben Jacobs, if you're not your own people, man. You're not. Definitely not the most credible. We're still linked with Barrios of Atletico Madrid, people. I wouldn't read and take too much stock into that, but fair enough. What have we got here? Arsenal readers' views. Arteta's style, Berta's impact, Zubimendi's role. Our writers discuss your queries. As someone who watched Arsenal slap together a bunch of creators with little to no defensive resistance, just big up Arteta for building all of that, but we need quality. People talk about Arsenal needing a proper number 9 in terms of converting chances, whereas I see it as more imperative due to the flow and effect of the rest of the team. And is that Sesko type would offer a greater threat in behind, plus create more. Yeah, we hear that. I can't lie, I don't want to hear people's opinions. I want to hear some anecdotes into what we could do in the summer. How much of an impact will Berta have on the transfer policy? There are long-term targets established and worked on by the existing recruitment staff. It remains to be seen if Berta is aligned on those decisions, even if he decides to follow the existing recruitment plan. Berta is likely to be charged with closing those deals, so it will certainly have some impact on some of the dealings. When Edu was at the club, both he and Arteta effectively had a veto on potential signings. Had Arsenal signed Nepan in January, that would have been classed as a recruitment signing rather than a manager signing. A signing made for the long-term benefit of the club rather than the immediate benefit of the first team. However, those distinctions are generally oversimplistic. It's a collaboration and decisions are made largely in concert. When we write about differing viewpoints, it's only to illustrate the degree of the thought and debate that goes into recruitment and some internal dynamics that are at play. Martin Zubimendi looked physically weak and slow for Real Sociedad. Athleticism has never been and will never be a strong point, which is why we need another physical midfielder if you're going to bring him in. Real Sociedad's problems against United were systemic in that their 4-1-4-1 shape was constantly overrun in midfield, but Zubimendi was one of the main casualties of that as he had so much space and so many bodies to split himself between. His off-the-ball strength is his ability to anticipate and break up play rather than covering acres of ground. If he were to join Arsenal in the summer, then the compactness of the shape should protect him better than Sociedad's system. Zubimendi is not a player who will regularly excite. He's a team player whose game is about keeping the game ticking over and providing rhythm to his team's play. But his arrival at the Emirates would presumably mean Declan Rice being continually exclusive at the left 8 rather than returning to the base of midfield. I wrote in Jan that as good as he is in that role, his ability to engage the press higher up and carry the ball forward, his attacking instincts are not there yet. Given the positions he's got into this season, his goal return should be a lot higher, but there's clearly potential for that to grow. I just remain to be convinced that it serves the collective team better with Rice as a number 8 than a 6. Arsenal need to recalibrate the balance of their team to produce more big chances. Playing Rice at the base means they can commit more men forward because he is athletically so freakishly reliable. They cannot do that with Partey or Zubimendi if he comes in. It would also open up the left 8 space again to bring in a more technical small space player to get that flank firing and reduce the reliance on Odegaard and Saka to create from the right. Fair enough. I like that comment. Big up Jack Wilshere, but I ain't going to read that. You know, Arsenal no more. Arsenal interested in outstanding goalkeeper who saved 4 penalties in a row. Allegedly, Arsenal are keeping close checks on SC Freiburg goalkeeper Noah Atombolu. Forgive me for mispronunciations, as they plan to recruit new backup for Raya this summer. Allegedly, we all know we got Neto on loan. We all know Ramsdale went. We all know Raya is the long-term guy. Ooh, I see 2.5. I don't know if that's the right decision to make. Sanford United. Onana set the people then back so many years. Arsenal have concerns about signing Garcia. He's clearly an excellent keeper, but his performances for Espanyol in La Liga are attracting interest from elsewhere. Garcia is a possible target for Man City, and Arsenal may find it tough to convince the Spaniard to join as a number 2 at the Emirates Stadium. Graham Bailey has said he understands Arsenal following the Freiburg. He's 22, has 24 appearances for Freiburg in the Bundesliga this season, aside without an outside chance of the Champions League qualification. In addition, he recently broke a club record for minutes played without conceding a goal. That's because they're good defensively. He saved 4 penalties in a row for Freiburg this season. Fair enough, man. Big up yourself if you want to sign for us. Petit has said he reckons Arteta is frustrated. Big up Petit, but I don't really like think pieces. We're not getting no Bruno Guimaraes, but allegedly we've submitted an offer for him ahead of the summer market. And this Spanish side always capping, so I don't know. There have been no statements from the player's entourage regarding his future, although his commitment to Newcastle has always been firm. However, the possibility of joining an ambitious project like Arsenal could be attractive. Arteta is looking to build a team capable of challenging for all titles. We need more bodies, and believes the Brazilian's arrival would be a leap forward in quality in midfield. Negotiations won't be easy. Newcastle would only consider his departure for a considerably higher fee. And you remember he's 28. Not that I care, but Arsenal are not going to do that. Arsenal will have to increase their offer if they want to convince the Magpies to let one of the most important players go. I'm a bit conflicted. I would rather Zubimendi, because I think he's perfect for us. But then I would say Guimaraes. I think Guimaraes can do everything Zubimendi can do, and he's also like a Brazilian Geordie. And if you're a Geordie, you're in England, so he gets it. I'd love both, but you can't have everything in this life, innit? People, make sure you're following the second channel. You don't need to follow on all the other platforms, especially because if you're on Playback as well, people, because between Playback and Twitch, we can start watching things together and having a bit of fun. And of course, if you're on Spotify, you know what you need to do as well, people. So yeah, let me post all those links. Is there anything else Arsenal related? Wanyeri among 9 picked for youth internationals. Big up Wanyeri on the 21s. Call up. I'm not reading anything around Nico Williams. What's this? City youngster Jaden Owens joins Arsenal's under 18s on trial. We can look at that. Where's the other website? Sorry, folks. I'm trying to find. There we go. Just copy that link. See if we get anything new there. Well, who's this? I'm gonna knock that out like I know who this is, but apparently new Norwich City youngster Jaden Owen has joined Premier League side Arsenal's under 18s on trial. The defender, who signed his first pro deal at Carrow Road in October 2023, featured as an unused substitute for the Gunners youth side in the 4-3 victory over Leicester on Saturday. So how did he feature if he was an unused substitute? Forgive me if I'm wrong, and I might be a bit slow. He's played 8 under 18 games for, Norwich. So that tells me someone that's struggling for first team, struggling to make inroads at Norwich. Arsenal, being Arsenal, going to pick you up, let you be here for a couple of years, maybe even get into the under 21s. Probably not going to make it, but you're going to get Arsenal on the CV. He's been on trial at Arsenal for a period alongside young Brighton forward Ronnie Gorman, who City ran the rule over recently when he played the entirety of their 4-3 defeat to Leicester in February. Reports in North London suggest Arsenal's 18s, formerly managed by City first team coach Jack Wilshere, are looking at recruiting a left back and have also taken Chelsea defender Marcel Washington on trial alongside Owens, which is true. But these guys are not going to make it at the carpet, man. You're going to be youth recruitment signings, and they probably know, but they're going to learn what they need to learn, get Arsenal on the CV and keep it moving. I hope you make it, though. Why is this not loaded? Where is the website? There you are. Why are you not coming up? What's going on? Newcastle boss makes Isak stance clear. What's this? What you said here, Ramona? AC Milan made 3 late hijack attempts for incoming sporting director Berta. Oh, that's interesting. A new era is about to start at Arsenal, and it's going to be an important one. Berta is set to sign his contract as the new director at the club, replacing Edu Gaspar, who decided to leave at the end of the 2024 season, with the Brazilian in line to become new director at Marincas Group, coordinating transfers at Olympiacos, Nottingham Forest, Rio Ave, and more clubs soon. We can reveal to you how behind the scenes this move has been on the card for months after his decision to part ways with Atletico Madrid, where he helped to build the team in recent years, with his final move being for Julian Alvarez, who was wanted by and signed by Berta after difficult negotiations in a transfer battle with Paris Saint-Germain. Berta wanted a new challenge, and despite several approaches from European clubs, he's always been given priority to Arsenal. In the last month, bearing in mind he is Italian, AC Milan's management held more than 3 meetings to convince Berta, but as he's always wanted Arsenal as the new favourite destination for his future. This is why he spent a lot of time in London since December to improve his English, get to know the environment, and arrive at the club at the best possible level. Best possible level, I hear that, but he acting like he's about to dust off his boots. Why only Arsenal? The reason is Premier League football and the ambition to build something important in England, bringing the project to the next level. Then there's a crucial factor, who is Mikel Arteta. Berta has spent many years in Spain. His Spanish is absolutely perfect. He knows how Arteta works, and the connection has been excellent since the first meeting, sources close to Arsenal have confirmed. Fair enough. Campos, Dan Ashworth, Roberto Alabi, you could have signed for us. I wouldn't have minded that. Wouldn't have minded Campos, Dan Ashworth. I'm not really on that. The Monaco guy, wouldn't have minded that. Rosicky, I'd have Rosicky before Jason Ito, though. So read into that what you will. Apparently, Newcastle chairman Yasser Ramayan, forgive me if I'm wrong, has made it clear he will not sanction the sale of his favourite player, Isak. He need money, and they don't need money, people. Newcastle stance all this time has been they will not sell their talismanic striker, and this stance has been reiterated by the club's chairman. Probably, maybe when he's got a year or two left on his deal, but he's got 3 years at this moment. According to the Daily Mail, Newcastle boss and governor of Saudi Arabia's public investment fund has made it very clear to the rest of the club's hierarchy that Isak is not for sale. And obviously he was at Wembley. Okay, well, we knew that, but it's nice to have that poured in cold water, but it is what it is. And that appears to be everything.